and 2 Facebooks. Welcome to BabyDoll's Happy Hour. Oh, come over here a little more. Scoot you. See that picture over there?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So let me get you in. There we go. Let me turn this. You turn yours that way. There we go. Okay, now we're in the picture. Welcome to BabyDoll's Happy Hour. I am so excited for today because we have Miss Cynthia.
Hi.
And she came to Ryan's place last year or this year.
Yeah,
this year
in
May. And she is our house manager. And I am so glad you're here today to talk about your experience. You've just been a complete gift to us, for me and Darren.
Oh, thank you. Y'all were the gift, really.
You are a gift to us. We went out on a wing and a prayer opening this home last year, not really knowing what we were doing, but just being a willing party and just having the heart to help others coming out of jail or transitioning even from grief. I mean, a death of a husband or a spouse or a child or anything traumatic. And it is a sober living home, so you're going to be safe and protected from any kind of destruction and bad behaviors, just destructive behaviors. And women who are in recovery from drugs and alcohol or running from abuse. And we have experienced all of that. So welcome to BabyDoll's Happy Hour.
Yay!
And I wanted to start with just tell them a little bit about you.
Well, I'm into art and I like to watch movies. And I mean, a little bit of like backstory. I got out of jail in May, and
you're from the Dallas area.
Yeah, I'm from the Dallas area. I grew up south of Dallas in Duncanville and DeSoto, and went to Duncanville High School, and I fell into alcohol at an early age, and like dabbling in drugs and all that stuff, and when I went to jail this last time, I was fighting this case, and I just decided that alcohol was not something that I needed to have in my life anymore. So I was looking for a transitional house to, help me stay on my feet and everything. And I found Tasha.
All in one day. I had some ladies leave the home, and I sent a message out to my buddy, David Greenleaf, that I was, in a place where we could take in new women. And that was just that morning. And then you called David that same day and contacted me all in the same day. It was such a God thing.
It's a God thing, yeah.
For sure. And you were in the Air Force?
Yeah.
For how long?
Yeah, 7 years, from 2010 to 2017.
So she's got quite a story, and I wish we had time to really tell all of it, because it's very encouraging. It's very inspiring. But something that she said to me this morning is that she's always had leadership skills. And that was the thing I noticed about you right away, is that you are determined to come to my house, and you are determined to start over and do your best. And you have done so well. So let's go to this first question. Where were you emotionally and spiritually?
Oh, hold on.
7-8 months ago.
I made
May,
some notes.
June, July, August, September, October, November, December. Almost 8 months.
Yeah. I said, wow, that's about the time that I got out of jail. Spiritually, I was ready. Emotionally, I felt drained. I was a little nervous and more so excited to meet you in person and see what kind of person you really are. For the first time in a long while, I was finally ready to let go and let God. Because my drinking had a hold of me for a long time, and I just, something clicked inside of my head, and I was just like, man, if I don't want to keep on being in these situations, then the alcohol just has to not be a part of my life anymore, completely, because I always found reasons to cut back but those reasons were never big enough to just quit and stop completely and just turn a new leaf.
Yeah.
But the cutting back, it just kind of like gradually came back, and one tall boy turned to two tall boys, turned to three tall boys every night. And then I wanted to save money by just getting a bottle of vodka instead, and then the small bottle turned into the slightly bigger bottle, turned into the giant bottle, and oh, this will last me a week. No, it'd last me like 3 days.
Totally.
Like, oh my gosh, I mean, it was terrible, and there were just always those times where I tipped over the edge and something crazy happened, like this last time. And I don't want to spend my life behind bars or get myself killed, or end up hurting somebody else or anything like that. I'm a really kind by nature person.
Yes, you are.
And when I'm drinking, I'm not like that. I get frustrated really quickly, and I'm a different person. Like, anybody will tell you, even my friend Robert, like he'd say, man, I mean, after the first drink, even though you're not even buzzed yet, like, I can tell a difference in your personality. I mean, your whole demeanor changes, and I didn't see it, but other people saw it.
No, we just feel like, oh, this feels better. This helps me escape whatever I'm escaping from.
Yeah, or ease my nerves or whatever. But it's not medicine. That's what my psychiatrist said. He's like, alcohol is not medicine, and that's how people try to use it. Like it's going to fix something, but it's not going to help any situation that you're in, not in reality.
No.
Yeah.
Come a little more just kind of lean.
Oh yeah.
Just that one. Okay, go ahead. Finish your question.
Okay, so number 2.
So what has God healed or strengthened in you during this season?
Let's see. My drinking problem has washed away. I rarely have cravings. When I do, I've used your support to help talk myself out of it. I no longer feel alone and have a sense of purpose.
That's so beautiful.
Yeah.
I just have to say, every time I see you, you have the greatest smile. Your face is glowing, and you have the best attitude. You have such a great disposition.
Thank you. You know what? One of my customers yesterday, he gave me a $10 tip, and he was like, you win best waitress of the year because of your good attitude. And I was like, well,
100%.
thank you. Like, the money was great, but like the compliment meant more to me than anything else, because it's like, sometimes, I worry about that. I'm like, am I doing things right? Or am I working hard enough? And the feedback that I get from my customers is really amazing, because they do give me compliments a lot. And it's really encouraging because, when I have those customers like last night, they were offering me some Crown. I was like, oh my gosh, y'all killed the bottle, and they were like, oh, you want some? We still have some.
And you're like, no,
I was like, no, thank you, please, no. Like, you don't want to see me when I'm drunk. And they're like, do it. I'm like, no, I'm 2 years sober, please.
No.
They're like, oh, well, congratulations. They're from Russia. So
that's everybody does. Yeah.
Yeah. They were just having a ball, and like, I'm glad that now I can, like, be around that type of behavior and not feel tempted or anything like that. Even when it's being offered, I have the strength to say no. So,
hey, Connie, I'm so glad you're on here watching.
Hey, Connie, we love you.
We had this planned for last week, right before Christmas, and I was so sick. Connie's been praying for me. I am so much better. So thank you for your prayers. I'm doing a lot better. But yeah, I didn't have the opportunity to know you before, when you're drinking, and, thank God you didn't know me in mine and my mess. However, we would have had a lot of fun. So we have a lot more fun now.
Oh, yeah.
And I've only known you as this, just happy and joyful and glowing and a great attitude and just so determined to make your life great. And that, if I could get one thing across in this message, that is what I want people to understand and know is like what it really takes to go through what we've been through and to go through the dark, go through the ugly, because I think for both of us, and correct me if I'm wrong, but I think the abuse started first with us when we were younger.
Yeah.
And then we find drinking and, for me, really bad relationships because I'm looking for love in all the wrong places and not finding it true love.
Right.
And then, the drinking gets worse and then the abuse gets worse and then it's just a vicious cycle. So I didn't get to know you in that, but I'm so grateful to know you now. And that's the one thing I really want to get across, though, is just what it really takes and the commitment, the dark days, which I haven't seen you had any dark days. So if you've had any, I am not even aware of them.
I literally have like nothing but greatness these days. And I've got a great place to live and I've got a good job. Like, some of the details of the job are not as glamorous because, like it's a lot of like cleaning up tables and taking people's dishes and stuff like that, getting barbecue sauce all over my shirt and stuff. But
so in there,
but it's like, everybody's got to do grunt work, when they're first getting on their feet. And then, later on, I plan on going to school, this next semester. So that starts on the 20th. And then, I plan on starting a bookkeeping company and all that. So then that way I can, like use the restaurant as like supplemental income for when I'm getting my clients for my company that I'm starting.
So wonderful. So proud of you. Hey, Lynetta, I'm glad you're on here. We have a lot of people watching this for you. I'm so excited. Okay. So what surprised you most about leadership versus just showing up in this past time?
Being a leader is in my blood, like I was telling you earlier.
Totally.
What surprises me the most is my ability to take the wheel without fear of the outcome versus if I had just shown up, I would not be living to my fullest potential. So, I'm grateful that I'm in a spot where I can live up to my fullest potential and help people in the process. Cause I've looked for a very long time for people that can help me save the world, and man, there's going to be a lot of aftermath, a lot of people with like residual like trauma issues and stuff like that they need to work through. And I needed people that could help me like talk them through that and stuff like that. And like, some people might need, a place like a sober living house that, to where they can kind of just be in a good structured environment where they feel safe and at home at the same time. Like there's a lot of places out there that, like they're a little too structured. You brushed up on that at one point. You said, what if the structure is actually the reason why they don't make it, and that's a good point because some of these places that you go to are like, when you get there, it's like an RTC, like a residential treatment center. You feel like you're more like in a mental institution than you do.
The chores and the schedule and the time frames and where are you? What have you been doing?
Yeah.
Reporting back on everything you do.
Yeah. And this place is not like that, it's really laid back. Tasha's just awesome. I'm dumbfounded by like how compassionate and how loving you are in this whole situation. Because, all these scenarios were running through my head when I was in jail and I was like, oh my gosh, I'm about to like be in the hands of this person that I don't even know. And you sounded so sweet on the phone and everything, but I was like, what if she's a monster behind the scenes? Like anybody can sound good on the phone, and then, but then when I met you and like, I saw your pretty face and we first got in the car and then, you took me to Walmart and spent all that money on toiletries and stuff like that to help get me started. It's like, I was like, man, this lady is the real deal,
Yes.
you really care about people. And like, And I see that, as others, they come and they go and everything. It's like you really pour a lot into people. And, I really commend you for that. There's not enough people like you in the world.
Thank you. There's not enough people like you in the world either. We need to multiply ourselves.
We needed to join forces and make this thing happen.
I mean, I have to tell you, I am so much more excited about this year coming up because I've already got you.
Awesome.
So serious about saying that. And, I wanted to start and create this space in this home as a sanctuary because I felt like I had nowhere to go. I felt like I had nowhere to go to run from my abusive husband. I had nowhere to go when I was needing some sanity to unfortunately leave my first marriage because it was making me crazy. And I was acting crazy, and they're like, "Why are you crazy?" And I'm like, "Because I'm here."
Right.
And I'll just leave it at that. But it was making me crazy.
Yeah.
And there was even some people in my family that said, "Well, you can't come here."
Oh.
Well, you can't come to my house. Two in particular people in my family that said, "You can't come here and you can't come to my house." And I felt even with the police, when unfortunately I had to deal with them, they said, Frisco police said to me, which I love police, don't get me wrong, but here's what they said. "Why do women always say that you don't have anywhere to go? You have plenty of places to go." No, I didn't. I didn't really have anywhere to go. And people, when they're in abusive situations, a lot of alcohol, a loss of a child, just loss of a parent, all the things that we go through, you feel like you don't have anywhere to go. And that's what I wanted this place to be, was a sanctuary and a safe place where you can find peace, find yourself, and truly start to work on how you got there. Because sober is a great goal, but it's not the end goal.
Right.
If all we had to do was just get sober and it would solve everything, then we wouldn't have people relapsing. Because, I was a chronic relapser, and I was relapsing because when you get rid of the alcohol, now alcohol becomes the solution, right? Like that's what fixes everything in our mind, right? Like the next morning you wake up and people are looking at you like, you're totally crazy. And I was a monster. Thankfully, I'm not now, but I was. But we don't remember how we acted last night. We don't remember what we said. We don't know what we did. We forgot all the people hey, Tom, thanks for being on here today. We don't remember any of it. It's like we weren't there. So we're looking at people like, what's the big deal? So I got drunk and acted a little crazy. They're like, "Oh no, that's a very moderate version of what happened last night." But we don't remember because like we were there. And so we don't, and so we have to come to terms with truth. And it takes time to deal with ourselves and deal with truth. Right.
Very true.
And
Very
so
true.
it's so lovely. In my book, I thought that, I don't know what's going on with my lashes here, but I thought that our home would just be overflowing. I thought we would just have people waiting in line to come to our house last year. And that's not exactly what happened. And we know now that we took some people that weren't really ready. And we certainly have learned a lot this year together.
Yeah.
And it's hard, because you want to give everybody the same chance that was given to you, but they're just not all ready for what we have for them. And so unfortunately, I think we've had 8 or 9 women come through total this year. And I think I helped 12 or 13 women total this year, between the home and my individual coaching. The great news is most of them are still sober, as far as I know. Some of them just weren't ready.
Right.
And so this is our topic. What's next is like what people think makes the sober living work is a bed, a roof, rules and curfews, meetings and checklists, good intentions, and just don't drink or use. But if sobriety itself was going to heal people, then, we wouldn't have these relapses. So what actually Well, recovery fails when sobriety is treated as the goal instead of transformation, because it's like peeling back the onion. There's layers and layers and layers of, hey, Denisha, how are you? I'm so glad you're here today, listening to Cynthia, my house manager. But I'm talking a lot actually right now. But
It's okay.
what actually helps? What makes it a successful experience with sober living is structure that creates safety and consistent routines. Hey, Helen. Consistent routines, like when you wake up, prayers, meetings, responsibilities, clear expectations, predictable schedules, non-negotiables that protect peace. Like we didn't realize the types of non-negotiables we were going to have until we had a few wild ones.
Yeah. That don't want to go to sleep at night, or they want to like just constantly be moving around, and like stir up the energy in the house, or the list goes on. I mean, some people just, they have really flamboyant personalities, and I'm personally okay with all personality types just about, but I like to sleep at night,
Yes.
So
I think we're both a little bit of a free bird, and that's how we ended up here, which is okay.
Yeah.
So we understand, and we totally get where they're coming. Hey, your mom's on. Hey. I'm so happy I get to see you in a little bit. I'm going to bring some clothes for y'all to go through. So we can have structure and a framework for that without a rigidity, without feeling like you're still in prison, literally. And accountability is not rejection, but it's proof that you have the capability and the capacity to be responsible again, to find independence again without having to be told what to do all the time. Because if we're always telling people what to do, then they don't know what to do unless somebody's telling them what to do, right? So you have this weird balance of gaining independence and responsibility and gaining the confidence with knowing that you can, over time, honestly be consistent and disciplined, and the manageability of all that.
Right. Yeah, I mean, something that's real easy for people to start with is just doing their own like little chores and stuff like that. Like make sure the dishes are done before you go to bed. Wake up at a reasonable hour. Like try not to sleep in till noon every day, that you can. It's like even on my days off. And actually what's weird is on my days off, I actually wake up earlier than when I'm going to go to work. I think it's because, especially on my long shifts, I'm like, please let me stay in bed as long as humanly possible before I work these 12 hours, but then like when I'm off that day, I'm like, let me wake up at 7:00 in the morning so that I can get my stuff done and still have time for Netflix.
And relish the day, take it all in and get every ounce of it.
Heck yeah, man. I like getting up at dawn, so.
And leadership shows up with consistency. And we really kind of already did the questions, but leaders who are present and not performative, leadership that models humility and hierarchy, showing up even when it's inconvenient, and doing the hard conversations and not avoiding them. You have done such a great job, because you really just got thrown in. You just got pulled into it. It's like, that's where I was in my house. I needed a leader. I needed a manager, and we needed some women, and we just had to jump in and just tackle it.
Yeah, I mean, sometimes that's just how you need to do it. It's like, but I mean, you can't do it by yourself. No. Like you said, you need help. You needed somebody that was, actually there to like witness what's going on so that they can, report back to you and stuff like that. And, somebody that you can trust also, that won't just like be like, don't worry, we won't tell Tasha.
Right. Yeah.
Because I mean, you need to know what's going on and make sure that you're on the same page with everybody. And
right. We had to have that trust factor immediately.
Exactly.
And thank goodness our personalities just get along so well.
Yeah.
We really haven't had issues. We've had issues, but not.
Yeah, not with us. Yeah. Yeah. As long as we're like this, then this whole thing will stay solid, we just got to keep, an open line of communication and we'll be good.
And we can't just sit there and just lecture people.
Right.
It's not gonna help them to rise up. But we pour into people and try to see more than they see in themselves at the time. And I think that people will rise up because someone gave them a chance and because we're going through it with them.
Yeah.
Like walking with someone through this is I think a big key. But some people they're so used to the chaos that they couldn't get out of the chaos. And
right.
that's what I think was the most common thing with the women who didn't make it.
Right.
The ones that either were asked to leave or they ended up leaving for whatever. I think mostly they got asked to leave, but a couple of them left before you were there. They are so.
Yeah, they get wrapped up in that mindset, and it's so consistent for them that like breaking away from that is like culture shock. And actually, I've got a couple of notes that I wanted to go over on that. Because I mean, this whole thing, it is kind of a culture shock. It is like something different for you to have to think about. And sometimes like those neuropaths are just so strong where they were that, it's hard for them to build new ones,
Yes.
but like what we're trying to do is help bridge that gap so that you can find from where you were to where you want to be, because you don't want to just stay in that muck for the rest of your life. You really want to like go the places that you wanted to go when you were a kid, like you want to be able to dream again and actually hope for something again and look forward to stuff in life. And that's what we're trying to help people with.
Yeah, the fancy word is neuroplasticity in our brains, that we can actually change the way we think.
Mm-hmm.
And if we change our choices, which starts with changing the way we think, then we can just change our whole life. And that's my biggest mission is for people to see me and you and others come along and completely do a 180 with God. And you know what? Go ahead and talk about what you were going to talk about, because I know you have an incredible faith muscle.
Thank you.
Yeah. So go ahead and share what you have.
Yeah, and actually that's what my first note is on is faith. It says, "For by grace are ye saved through faith, and not of yourselves. It is the gift of God, not works, lest any man should boast. For we are his workmanship, created in Christ Jesus for good works, which God has prepared that we should walk in them." Ephesians 2:8-10. See, because I mean, faith is our cornerstone. We're saved by grace through faith, and it means that we believe in things that we can't really see, but there's all kinds of forces in the universe, or however you want to word it, that also make everything happen. It's not just what we see. So if you tap into those, and you let God do some work in your life, then that's what'll help make that bridge so that you can see the light, and actually, change your life in the ways that you really want it and need it to. And then let's see, my next note says, it says, "Our whole goal here at Ryan's House, in addition to providing a safe, stable, and structured environment, is helping others restore their faith in God so they can restore their faith in themselves and begin a new journey and a new chapter in their life. As the house manager, I like for everyone to feel welcomed and relaxed, as I'm friendly and easygoing."
You 100% are. You're so great.
And with Tasha as our mentor, we have really done our best to ensure that for those who are willing to work our simple program, get their best second chance at life. We both come from a history of trauma, violence, and abuse that we made a decision to persevere through instead of letting those things kill us or hurt other people around us anymore. And we're here to tell you that you don't have to do this alone. We can help you change your people, places, and things, put you in a nice house in a quiet neighborhood, provide you a safety net, and help surround you with good people in your life, go hand in hand with you through prayer and meditation to strengthen your relationship with God. For some of you, this will be culture shock, although you can feel that God has a bigger plan for you, his will for your life. Romans 12:2 says, do not conform to the pattern of this world and be transformed by the renewing of your mind. Then you will be able to test and approve what God's will is, his good, pleasing, and perfect will.
So good.
Although this is a simple program, transformation is not easy. The key is in Romans 5:3-5, where it explains that we must find the joy in our suffering because hardship builds endurance, which develops character, leading to hope. And this hope is secure because God's love fills our heart through the Holy Spirit, never causing shame. That's the key. You know, we're not here to like point fingers and place blame or, make you feel shameful about your past or anything like that. We're not here to judge you. We're here to help you see that once you walk in the light, you don't have to have that shame anymore. You don't have to feel bad about your past. I mean, because everybody goes through trials and strife and everybody's made mistakes and, has had to grow from that, and you don't just consider it a mistake and turn the other direction. Like you use that as like a stepping stone so that you can actually use what you learned to better yourself instead of thinking of those things as like bad things. Those are growth things, and at that point, like there's nothing in your past that was a bad, horrible thing that you just can't get past, like, because you're using those things to help you grow. So,
and that's Romans 8:28. God works all things to our good for those who love him, and we do. Yeah. And that goes back to faith.
Absolutely. Let's see. Most of all, I want everyone who's considering joining our program to know that we are here to help. We're not here to dictate your life. All we can do is give you the best advice we know. If you would like to find your way and your purpose in life in a peaceful sanctuary we call home, this is your calling.
Yes, come join us. Ryan's Place in Frisco. We have 3 open beds, and we want you to come join us. Go ahead.
Oh, yeah. Okay, so I wrote some more right before we started. As my grandmother used to say, home is where the heart is. Your home will always be the place for which you feel the deepest affection, no matter where you are. We want newcomers to feel right at home the second they walk through the door. We will always try and help accommodate the needs or your needs as best we can so that no one has to go without. This is about getting your independence back and creating a new network of support that will last the rest of your life.
Yes.
Okay, this isn't just a now thing. This is a forever thing. If you do this right, you will take these stepping stones with you wherever you go. Helping one person might not change the whole world, although it could change the world for one person. Let's see. In helping others, we shall help ourselves, for whatever good we give out completes the circle and comes back to us. We rise by lifting others.
100%. Thank you so much for that. It's so good. I mean, the value of you experiencing almost a year in the home, and just the accountability and the responsibility and the leadership and all of the different pieces that you stepped into willingly and gladly have made a huge difference for me and the home. So I'm so thankful for that. I'm going to come back to this without chaos, because we can't do it without chaos. So some of the things, like we don't have there's no gossip. It's a no gossip culture. That's going to be with Limitless Ladies and with Ryan's Home. There's a no gossip culture. and conflict is handled directly and biblically. And I was reading that this morning and I was thinking, how do we handle conflict biblically? And I think that one of the really amazing gifts about you too, Cynthia, in your just natural demeanor and personality is that you're a very forgiving person, and you're really you're very open, and you do a really, really good job with having conversations that are difficult. And for me, that's a huge gift because I can trust that if I, say, Cynthia, we need to handle this with this person, you may have already even handled it by then because, you're so grateful to be there. And it is immersed in everything that you do. And Cynthia goes above and beyond and does things I don't even have to ask. But I think addressing conflict with love is probably how I would describe handling conflict biblically.
Right. Yeah. I mean, you just have to remember that, if you go into it angry, then you might say the wrong thing. But, I usually if there's some kind of conflict or if there's some kind of thing that I need to say, then I just take a minute to plan what I'm going to say so that, it doesn't just come off harsh. Sometimes I can come off abrasive if I'm frustrated.
I do.
Yeah. I think everybody does.
I think you might have experienced that once or twice, unfortunately.
Oh, it's okay. You just kind of get nope, not dealing with that right now. But you're so busy sometimes that sometimes you can't think about that. That's
that first year was a lot, and we took on a couple of pretty challenging cases.
Right.
But here's the thing: we're gonna love you, even if it doesn't work out for you to be in our home. But we must maintain certain elements of structure and framework for the sustainability of the home and for the peace for the women.
Yeah. We have to be in bed by 10 or 10:30 or something. You can't just be up watching TV all night.
Yeah.
Can't be up and moving around after hours and stuff like that.
It's really different for people that are used to a lot of chaos and a lot of drama, and the drama and the chaos has to no longer be rewarded. So you can't have, the chickens running the farm, right? Because they'll still pull you over here, pull you into this, pull you into that.
Right. Yeah, they'll definitely pull you in a million different directions
because they're so committed to the drama and the chaos because it's familiar.
Right.
So we're also helping women rebuild their identities because you get lost in, the guilt, the shame, the labels of our past. And we're rebuilding women. So teaching them who they actually are, not just what they do, and separating identity from past mistakes and calling out their strengths before you can really see it. So we're pulling the best out of people, which can be difficult when they don't want you to pull it out of them.
Right.
And
or if they have a low self-esteem and they don't feel like they're good people, and
learning to live with purpose and not living in survival mode.
Right.
So you can't sustain sobriety if you still see yourself as broken. And so what truly helps people stay free is facing the truth. And now it's going to take time because healing has layers and trust isn't rebuilt overnight. And for me, it was the trust I had to rebuild with myself.
Right.
Because I lost trust with myself because I was always making the wrong choice. And growth is measured in consistency, not perfection. And so we don't rush the women, but we want them to find roots.
Right.
And everybody's got to take ownership of their recovery. It's a personal responsibility. I can't do it for anyone else,
Right.
Leaders guide. We don't carry their problems. We don't solve all their problems for them, but we're here for guidance and direction. And women have to learn to self-regulate and not relying on people
Yeah, it's about getting your independence back, so you don't have to rely on others so much to give you this feedback and all this stuff, like you can just believe in yourself again, and know that you're doing it right because you're doing right by yourself.
Right.
And we'll be there like 100% of the way. Like I said, just go hand in hand through prayer and meditation, and we'll be your friend. We'll be there for you to talk to if you ever have something that comes up that you need to express or anything, or something from your past that just won't, like, sometimes it's hard to let go of these things. I mean, like, abuse and trauma from your past. I mean, it comes back up in memories or in nightmares or
PTSD.
Yeah. I mean, flashbacks. Yeah.
Mhm.
I mean, just all kinds of stuff. So, I mean, if you're having issues with this stuff, this is the reason why we have a support network. I mean, we're there for you to talk to. If you need a one-on-one with Tasha or even me, I mean, we can set aside time, and I usually only work in the evenings during the week. So, I mean, I have a lot of spare time that, I can dedicate to this. And, if you need to really like take a step-by-step process and help process, some of the stuff that's going on inside your head, then I mean, we'll do it, I mean, and it's no problem. You're not a burden to us.
No, we're here to help
Yeah.
and support and help you, get off the ground and pull yourself back up. But then we've got to practice our faith, and faith is a lifestyle. Faith is believing in something that you cannot see.
Right.
And it's so valuable, I feel like, to have women around you that have faith.
Yeah.
That can walk through that, and scriptures. And I love the way that you do the daily verse and the daily quotes. And there's 3. There's what's the third one?
Yeah, it's the daily verse of the day, the self-affirmation, and then the motivational quote.
Right. And I love that. So she's got a big board that she does that in the house every day. And if we walk through with God, we can change and do anything. And we've got to have obedience. 1 ounce of obedience is worth all the prayers in the world. And we have to have a healthy delayed gratification. I think that's the hardest part, where we can really easily get frustrated in recovery when you're like, oh, I'll never forget this. Oh my gosh. I was talking to a friend that was in AA with me at the time. Her name was Angie, and unfortunately she passed away from her disease. But at the time I said, I have been nice for 20 something days. I think it was 24. I have been nice for 24 days. And she's like, what do you want me to do? She's cracking up laughing at me. She's like, you want me to bake you a cake? And I said, yes, I want a cake. I want a chocolate cake with chocolate icing. So she made me a cake, brought me that cake, because people can't imagine how hard it can be in the beginning of recovery, when you're fighting with your messed up self.
Yeah.
And you just want to drink. And how hard it is just to be nice. I need a cake. I needed a whole cake. But learning to wait and learning to stay where you are and learning to pause and learning to finish things and building confidence through completing, like 1 whole day sober, the first few days are the hardest. Yeah. Unless you're forced to do it, which, is still hard. But then a whole week, and then a whole month, and then a whole year, like it's a big deal. And staying in the miracle, because it's a whole miracle to get sober. So here's some declarations. We're seeing Cynthia in this house. This is not by luck. This is a very intentional.
It was meant to be.
It's very intentional. It's very God led.
Mm-hmm. God inspired.
Very, very God led, God inspired. And it's construction, it's structure, it's consistency, it's leadership, but it's also faith and action. And I'm so grateful too that you already had all a lot of those skill sets. Like you were already a leader, natural born leader, was in the Air Force, the consistency, the discipline, the structure, the ambition level, and the faith. You have great faith and you know the word. Like she knows the word. And so I know that if I'm not there and someone came to you with an issue, you're going to give them the right type of direction.
Yeah, absolutely.
So
I'll do my
wonderful.
best.
And when women are placed in an environment where peace is protected, truth is spoken, and purpose is required, transformation is going to happen. Like you can't get away from it.
Right.
So
It's just a natural occurrence at that point.
keep showing up, and your consistency is changing lives. And this is why environment matters. So recovery doesn't happen because someone wants to change. It happens because someone stays long enough to become someone new. So you want to add anything to that?
No, that about sums it up.
Thank you so much for being on here today. Thank
You're
you for
welcome.
your
I had fun.
vulnerability. Thank you for your authenticity. Thank you for being your genuine. Look at her. She's just like happy and glowing, and she was prepared, and she is a gift. Thank you for being the leader of our home.
You're very welcome.
And I hope that
Thank you for having me.
I hope that we can take this to the end of our lives and pass this on to a legacy and generations of women who want to continue to help others and rise up and go back into the fire and rescue people and keep pulling them out of the depths of their own destruction.
Yep, will do.
So y'all be paying attention to Limitless Ladies. We're starting in January, and I'm still trying to get the final details of exactly how many times a week, how many times a month we're going to be getting together, and how much online and how much in person. But we will have our first online virtual event in January, and we will have our first in-person event in January. So be looking for all the details. They'll be coming out very soon. I just had the flu and we had holidays. And so we're just finalizing all the details, making sure that we're prepared on the back end with all of, because I know people are going to be like, how do I get involved? How do I get involved? So we're working on the back end administratively so that you can have everything you need to join us for Limitless Ladies. And we have 3 open beds. So let me give you my phone number, 945-237-3170. If you want to come to Tomahawk Homes, Ryan's Place in Frisco, Texas, and hopefully we're going to be opening a new home this year for more space, more beds.
Next year, it's not this
tomorrow.
Yeah.
Y'all, everything that happened in 2025 that needs to be thrown in the trash, throw it away, burn it up, flush it down the toilet, and let's go into 2026 strong.
Let's make it new and prosperous.
Yes, 100%. And what else? BabyDoll's Boutique. We got some new jeans that are coming online. So be paying attention to all these things. And let me pray us out, and that's it.
Yeah.
Heavenly Father, Holy Spirit, precious Jesus, I thank you for every woman listening to this today. Please like and share and send this out on your pages and send this to women who need it. We just want to be encouraging. We want to be inspiring and motivational, because you can change your life. You can leave the abuse. You can put down the drugs and the alcohol and the weed. You can leave the abuse. You can walk out of jail, and you can start over. And God, if you put God in it, He will lead it and He will provide for you. So God, bring provision, bring the women, bring the help, bring the finances, bring the homes, bring the cars, bring everything that we need, bring the volunteers, fill up Limitless Ladies and fill up these homes, Ryan's Place, and the next one will be Raquel's Place. So I prophesy and I declare and I command that your will be done in the mighty name of Jesus. Amen, amen, amen. So be blessed in this new year. Thanks for joining us. Please like, share, and subscribe.
We love you.
And if you want to know more about Tomahawk Homes, you can go to Tomahawk Homes, TOMO, hawkhomes.org, and you can go to Kashapa, KASHAPA.org, and you can donate. Y'all, please donate. We're still raising money for little Miss Cynthia here to have a moped so she can get to and from work and school. So today's the last day of the year. Donate to our 501c3, Kashapa, KASHAPA.org, or go to tomahawkhomes.org and you can donate there, and be looking for Limitless Ladies. And y'all come be a part of what we've got going on. It's wonderful, and we need your help. We love you.
Love you. Thank you.
Thank you. Bye.
Aw.
That's it. And